Well, hello there again, everybody. Boyd back with you. Well, this is another flashback video on my channel. This is my Christopher Lee Dracula tribute. This is the old resin kit from Resin Crypt, I believe was the name of it, if I got that correct. I don't think these are available anymore. They were very limited when I got this. In fact, I had a really hard time getting this kit. When I first saw that they came out, I really wanted one because I'm a huge Christopher Lee fan, especially the Dracula character that he played, starting out in 1957 and ending up in 1972, done through the Hammer Studios. If you're horror fans, you definitely know who Hammer is. And he also did quite a few other roles as far as The Mummy, Frankenstein, and a few others. And but he just took the Dracula character to a whole new level and kind of transformed it from the version that Bela Lugosi made famous for Universal Studios. He portrayed the character much more sort of animalistic and ferocious, is how he described it in an interview that I saw him do. And in fact, in a couple of the films, he didn't even have any dialogue, or barely any dialogue, which he became, you know, more and more unhappy with as they went along making the movies. And the quality kind of trailed off towards the end. The first 2 or 3 of them were excellent, though. And I just always loved them. I remember they would come on late at night, you know, back in the 70s and 80s. And you didn't have VCRs, you know, and all you had was a TV guide. So I would stay up late at night waiting for it to come on and try to catch the different movies, and just always loved it. And but I had a lot of fun building this up. This is a fantastic kit. It comes with this nice sort of cathedral, you know, Gothic-looking cathedral background, and the stained glass windows come with the kit. And I did a little bit of extras on this. I did some lighting. I've got some lighting going on the back there that simulates lightning. We can kind of hit a remote here in a little bit, and I'll show you what it looks like. But I've got the soundtrack from the opening music from The Horror of Dracula on here. I thought that was the best one out of all the films. So I put that on there, and I kind of matched it up with some thunder and lightning effects on the windows here. We've got a little bat with some fiber optics in its eyes. If I remember correctly, this bat is from the Barnabas Collins MPC kit, which I don't think originally came with that kit. I think when they repopped that kit a few years ago, they started including the bat and a couple of other things that they didn't include originally in that one. But you can see the awesome detail that they put into this. I love the gargoyles and the, you know, the old look and worn down look of these rocks and everything, and the pedestal. I did a lot of weathering paint techniques on this to bring out all that detail, and it turned out pretty nice. And it was just a whole lot of fun working on this. It brought back so many memories. The sculpt that they did of Christopher Lee, I think, is spot on. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And I was actually kind of hesitant to work on this at the time because, you know, at that time I had probably only done a small handful of figure kits in my whole modeling life, and you know, I really wanted to do a nice job on this, and I was really kind of worried, but I think, you know, it turned out pretty nice. I remember I had to completely redo the fangs. The fangs on the kit were like almost, you know, little stubs or whatever. They weren't very detailed, so I you know, made new ones and glued them on in place and kind of sharpened them up a little bit and made them just a little bit bigger, and I think they turned out just about right. Gives him that kind of, you know, ferocious looking look that he had always in the films. So yeah, he was a lot of fun, and this thing is one heavy chunk of resin. I have him all, I had to use pins to mount him in place there to make sure he was going to be nice and solid, but you basically had to build the upper and lower halves. The cape is completely separate. Now, I'm not sure if it shows up very well on this camera or not, but on the inside of the cape too, I did some, I used some of the iridescent paints over the top of the red to give it that sort of silk, or, you know, silk look that it had in the film. Apparently he used the same cape all the way through all of the films, and it's in a museum somewhere now. And of course, this famous pinky ring that he had, I actually have a little replica of that ring here that he used in, you know, it appeared on his hand in all the films. That was given to me by a friend of mine. And speaking of that, that same friend sent me this wonderful bust of Christopher Lee, and that was put out by Hammer Studios themselves on their website a few years ago. They actually had this one and a really nice Van Helsing one too, as Peter Cushing which I really would like to get, but that one's almost impossible to find now. But this one's pretty nice. He's he's got a little bit of gore on him there, but honestly, looking at the two sculpts of the head, this one's pretty nice. But I think the people at Resin Crypt did a better job on the likeness of Christopher Lee. I think he looks just right, and he was a really tall, lanky kind of guy. I think they captured the the figure itself too. I know he was way over 6 foot tall, but he had a really interesting career, and he had an interesting career in the military too during World War II. If you look up some stuff about Christopher Lee, and he was just a very, very awesome person. If you listen to interviews about him, his reverence for the kind of the forefathers and the horror, I've watched a couple interviews where he talks about Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi and some of the other greats, Lon Chaney, and he had a lot of respect for those people, and he was actually really good friends with Boris Karloff. But yeah, I had a lot of fun building this. I hope you enjoy seeing it. I actually built some really nice special features into this build as well. I've got a little remote system set up here, and I set this up where I can play the opening sound music from the horror of Dracula, and I set these stained glass windows up with some LED lighting on the back side, which will light up and simulate lightning effects, and it turned out pretty nice. I'll turn the lights down here in a second. We'll play this for you. What I did to do that is I've got two soundboards in this. I've got one here and one on this side. The one on this side strictly plays the music, and this one over here plays the lightning and sound effects. And what I did there is that's why I had to use two boards, is because I've got these LEDs set up to where every time you hear the lightning hit, the LEDs in this light up in sync with it. So, that's easy to do. You just run two wires right off of the speaker output on the board, hook them directly up to LEDs, and they'll mimic the sound, like an old sound organ. And I couldn't do that with just one board because, whenever you heard music or whatever, it would constantly be going. So I had to use two boards to do that, but it worked out pretty good. I've got a separate switch in the back where I can turn the front part off and on here. I've got little LEDs, SMDs here in the front to kind of light this area up, but I've also got 4 LEDs in the back, so when you're looking at this in low light, it puts a kind of a cool looking crimson red glow on the whole thing and gives it a little bit more of an eerie look in low light. But okay guys, well that's about all I can say about it. I really had a fun time building this. So we'll close this up with the we'll play through the sound effects and some low light, and you can check that out. We'll be back again with some more work on the bench in the next couple of days, and probably some more flashback videos along the way. So we'll see you next time, everybody. Enjoy the sound clips and the special effects.